Good evening, Kentun community. My name is Sabatino Samato. I'm your superintendent, and this is your weekly connection update. A shorter connection, but very important one. First, we're going to start off with why this week is so important, and that's the 35th annual Jerry Starr's Kentun School Sleepout. We'll talk about that in a moment. I'll give you a short update, not much there, on what we've learned about masks and mask update. We'll talk about our Test to Stay program, give you some highlights from that. We'll talk about some school highlights very briefly, and then we'll finish off with our recognition. So let's get going. First, why this is such an important week, because in Kentun, we are truly known for how we're always giving to others. That is the Kentun way. We talk about it all the time. We know that's how we've been raised in Kentun. We know that's what we stand for. And this is one of those events that really signifies about how Kentun cares for everyone in their community. The Jerry Starr Kentun Schools ETC Sleepout, and it's coming up next Friday, February 4th. For those of you who don't know, the Sleepout represents the most special thing about Kentun, and that's that spirit of giving. And that's why this event is named after one of its founders, Mr. Jerry Starr. Mr. Starr, one of the great impactful people in my life, he started this with some other founders. Steve Ash is really the key to the Educators Totally Committed organization that really focuses on this annual tradition that has taken place the first Friday in February ever since 1988 when it was founded. Many people chose to brave the winter weather and sleep outside in refrigerator boxes for all these years, and it's no different this year, to raise awareness about the needs for the less fortunate in our community. So once again, this event will take place next Friday. In other ways to support the sleep out, other than just being in boxes and sleeping outside, you could donate money, food, clothing, and other items. And all these contributions are appreciated. And if you look at the connection, you could see these other ways to make donations. And like I said, many people will come by that evening, and we welcome everyone. Next Friday evening, it begins at 8 p.m. right there at the Hoover Complex. But you could also go online and donate through GoFundMe. Cash and checks made payable to Kentun Schools ETC, and it shows the address right there in the connection to mail it to Kentun Schools Sleepout, care of Kenmore-West High School, 33 Highland Parkway, Buffalo, New York, 14223. Like I said, dropped off in person that day. And staff, you could even donate by in other ways by doing inter-office delivery or given to your KTA Sleepout building representative. And folks, the key is really showing not just ourselves and not just our community, but demonstrating for our children in the most formidable years of what it means to give back, that life of service. That's what this Kentun Sleepout always has represented for all 35 years, and this year is no different. So thank you very much to all those that are really helping to make this a true success. And the next section is mask update. And unfortunately, folks, I don't have much to update you on since my last update on Tuesday evening. We know that right now the New York State Court of Appeals is hearing and then will render a decision based on the New York State mask mandate. Just a reminder, besides the New York State mask mandate, we also have a local Erie County mask mandate that exists. So there's a lot of things at play here. This is what I would like us to focus on. We know that we can remain optimistic. We know that cases are coming down, and I have a good feeling that we're going in a better direction with the pandemic. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't have an inside scoop, but I follow this data every day, and I'm hoping that soon I'll be able to update you more on where we're going and off-ramping, coming out of the pandemic, because that is a priority for us in Kentun. Remaining safe. Safety has got to be the priority, but as soon as we have the guidance that tells us otherwise, we follow the guidance. We've been consistent with that in Kentun. We will follow the guidance as it's prescribed to us as a district. So stay tuned, and hopefully we'll continue to have more good information for all of us moving forward as we come into the month of February. Here's some good information, though. Test to Stay. Test to Stay is something that we implemented. Remember who is eligible for Test to Stay. It is for unvaccinated students and staff that have been deemed close contacts. Now, there's been some confusion this past week that schools no longer need to contact trace. Folks, I need to demystify this for you. There was a state document that came out that specifically said, do schools need to contact trace? And the answer was no. But then it went on to explain how the schools still need to contact trace. And what I mean by that is we have to notify families that are close contacts to a case in our schools. And we can't just do that by putting a case's name up on the website, because we violate privacy when we do that. So we are still doing our close contact searching whenever we have a case in our schools, and that's where test to stay comes into play. For those who are unvaccinated, who have been deemed a close contact, instead of having to go into quarantine, they can participate in our test to stay program during that 5-day quarantine period. And if they come in the morning, there's 2 times that they're going to have to come, and they test negative before school, then they're able to participate in school that day. So let me give you some data. Our Test to Stay program has been successful. We've had 36 students just in these first 2 weeks that have participated in the Test to Stay with a total of 55 tests. That means 36 students have had the option of attending school in person during the mandatory 5-day quarantine period that still exists during this pandemic. Now, folks, some people, and that's their choice, have chosen to not participate in Test to Stay, and that's great. But for those 36 that have taken advantage of it, they haven't had to be in quarantine. They've been able to come. Only 1 positive we've had so far. So that data continues to indicate that the risk of spreading among students identified as close contacts remains very low in our schools. Thank you to everyone for all their hard work that made this possible, and to all the families participating, because we know it's not easy. Once again, we're offering it as an option for our families so that, I know it's an early option because it has to be before school in the morning. We offer it at Kenmore Middle, but it's another way also to make sure that we're just mitigating the spread of COVID-19, and we've been successful with this program in our first 2 weeks. So more to come, and hopefully those numbers keep on dropping, and then we won't need Test to Stay. So stay tuned. School highlights. You'll see this week our school highlights. We highlight Edison, we highlight Hoover Middle, we highlight Kenmore East, and we highlight Lindbergh. So really check out our connection this week for some great pictures and some discussion about some great programming. Finally, our recognition this week, and we're going to call this week the Unsung Heroes of Kentun. Each week, I use the connection to highlight individuals in our community for their outstanding efforts or contributions to the district and community. Celebrating these contributions continues to be an important part of the connection. It shows the world what a special place Kentun is and serves as an inspiration for others. It is impossible to highlight everyone who is worthy of this recognition. In fact, the vast majority of people who are worthy of recognition do not get recognized. Most people don't realize how much is taking place every day behind the scenes in Kentun. It could be a teacher who devotes so much effort to a perfect lesson plan, an administrator who works around the clock to plan for an entire community, a member of the staff who donates their time and money to help students and families in need without hesitation, or all of those who routinely demonstrate their extraordinary talents and dedication in their daily work. These are the countless unsung heroes of the Kentun community, and this week I'd like to recognize them. I want them all to know their efforts and achievements do not go unnoticed. We see countless examples of this throughout the year. Our teachers, staff, and administrators are truly irreplaceables. And folks, I mean that. You see our people. See, I'm blessed. I get to see it all the time. And there's even stuff that I don't see. Just all of our dedicated staff doing things behind the scenes all the time. Please, anytime you get a chance, and that's where we need to start moving to in this community, this Kentun community. Let's get back to our basics, back to our roots, and that's always looking out for each other and always doing great things for each other. And that's where I'm going to end this today, because we know that in Kentun we are strong. Together, we are Kentun proud, and we're going to keep on moving Kentun forward. Unfortunately, I can't say go Bills, but I can say go Kentun this week because I have a great feeling about the month of February. Let's stay positive, and I bet we're going to good places together. Let's have a great weekend and stay warm.